it's a learning experience for us as well, and we'll take in your comments and suggestions as we proceed. So I'll now hand it over to Dr. Azim Boller, who will share his experiences with us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So I'm back again with day 2 of hurdles of life, hurdles in life, and how I overcame and maybe overcame them, and uh, just to refresh your memory on hurdles, and also for any newcomers, because they will. It's better to. I thought it better to talk a bit on hurdles and then go on to Europe. So, overcoming hurdles is something that is a necessity. It is not something that should be ignored, because hurdles are very factual, and they're very part of us, and we need to overcome them. If you don't overcome them, then missing out on a lot of other things. We need to give our best shot, and we need to have faith in ourselves. Self-confidence should be high. Self-esteem should be high. And mind you, nothing is, without pain, there's no gain. Uh, Always take hurdles as a challenge, because it is only when you accept it as challenges when you give your best shot. So that's a bit about hurdles. The last time when I did talk on overcoming hurdles in life, I stopped at Africa, said that I would go into Europe. Now, just before we enter the European sector of my life, I would like to mention that, which I had not mentioned, I think, that I started driving at the age of 13 on my own. I was sitting on the lap of the driver. I learned how to control the steering. And by trial and error, I learned it without my father knowing. So these are things that helped me at a much later stage. Um, there's another thing I had forgotten to mention to you, was that during the time in East Africa, I had taken a 23-kilometer walk for fundraising. And we don't know if that was responsible for my juvenile arthritis, but I had raised quite an amount for the poor people. And I had walked at 23 kilometers, and it was at the age of 13. No, not even 13, 11. Yeah, 11. So those are some of the things I had done, even, and not even once did I think that I would not do it or not be able to finish it. There was an ambulance following us, but I never had the need of an ambulance. We took refreshments, so that's something I wanted to mention to you all. Now into Europe. I took the Air France flight, leaving my parents for the first time into Strasbourg, France. Strasbourg is a lovely township in the border of France and Germany. No students had checked in. I was the only one who had checked in maybe a few days prior to admissions. So it was an old chateau, or the old castle, that was taken and renovated to accommodate us. It was hotel school. They had a hotel training center there, and uh, as I entered the college, and no, as I left the airport, I left without my luggage because it had been misplaced. So I was like a little scared and wondering how I would manage. They said they would come with next flight. I reached college, very dark. I checked in. There was a night guard, Michael. He checked me in, and my room was on the third floor. And there are no elevators. We have to climb up and down. It was in a corner room, nice room, with a beautiful view. The view was of a slanting roof, tiled roof. It was on the top of the chateau. And that started my hotel education. I was the only Indian student among 98 hotel students. Um, and I had just left home, not knowing what life was outside. It was a very different experience, a learning experience. And I was very scared, but at the same time, very excited to embark on a career that I always wanted to pursue. So I went on from France. I did my Hotel Lingua, a year's certification in reception management, and I was thrilled. And then I started my associate's degree. Now, associate in hotel management, and it went off by without much of hindrance. A small, I was scared of accounting. I was always bad in maths. So those are the things that I overcame with a lot of willpower, with a lot of fear also. But then from France, I remember going for, yeah, I learned skiing in France. That's something that I had never done before, and we had to go to Austria. We had took the bus trip to Austria, to Innsbruck, and I learned to ski, but I learned to ski in a very different way. Uh, I took the cable car to the first stage. And I thought, I saw people skiing. I said, hey, who can't do it? So I put on my skis and took the little rods on the hand and left hand and right hand. And I tried to copycat them, and I had a couple of falls. I never realized that it is not as easy as it looks, and there's a lot to do. So I learned the hard way. Someone taught me how to maneuver the ski blades, but I ended up falling into piles of snow. I ended up creating obstacles for other skiers, and it was a learning experience. We had a lot of snowball fights, and I was new to snow. And when they came back, there was an Ethiopian person. I think his name was Martine Kibete. And one fine day in the morning, Martine comes into my room and says, Azim, gods have gone crazy. I was wondering what happened. And I looked right and said, what's wrong, Martine? It is something, it is falling from the sky. The world is coming to an end. And it was snowing. And he has never seen snow in Ethiopia. You don't get snow. And there is a beautiful experience of how a person who hasn't snow actually sees it and is so scared, petrified. So some of the experiences I had, and then one of the greatest things was a hotel called Formula One chain, which has got maybe 2 or 3 human beings. You check into a counter, and you're automatically given a registration card, electronic key card, and you go to your room, you find your room, and there are no people around. There's no hotel. You make your own tea, your own coffee, and those are the things I learned, that how the things can be with a lot of technology, how automation is done. Even in the hotel, which is such a labor oriented industry, it's still possible to have no people around. It's amazing. So that was France, and from France, there was a time when I took the I went across to London just to for a vacation. So I learned how to travel by bus and go within Europe. I had learned driving. So in France, I had taken up the student scholarship of driving the school van, which is a 14-seater. And all was well. I had found a lot of people because I had a Sudanese license and had everything in Arabic. And so one fine day, I had also carrying it with me all the time. And we had stopped at McDonald's, I remember, and I was not aware that the cops were around. So they stopped us, and I wouldn't speak French, they wouldn't speak English. So they asked license, and I said, okay, that's not like license. So I said, okay, it's my license. It's all in Arabic. I said, no, not possible. I said, no, sir. He said, no. This is Arabic. I'm international. I said, this is international. It was not. And they fell for it, luckily. And he let us go. So there are some of the things that happened, and it was just a learning experience. During the snow time, once I remember traveling at a fairly low speed, but it was for around 40 to 50. I think, no, yeah, 50. And so in the front seat, someone pulled the handbrakes, and the entire bus skidded, and it took a couple of swirls in the snow. And I remember I was so scared, so petrified. Nothing happened though then. I said it was insured, luckily. But there was no problem, and we all had a great laugh. I was really I had gone cold. I was scared. And not my bus, it's the school van. So those are the things that happened in France. I got my associate's degree in 1989, and then proceeded to London to do my bachelor's and hopefully my master's. So all that was going good. Bachelor's degree was going fine. We had the international food party. I really contributed a lot on that. I got a good letter from the university. I joined, no, there was, bachelor's was good. There was no problems as such. I got my bachelor's degree. In fact, I did a 5-year hotel management course in 4 years because I took a credit overload. So in fact, I had a grade point average of 3.6, which is close to average of 85%, I think. Yeah, 85 to 90%. So I was a good student. I was also involved in the cultural events in the student kitchen. I used to cook for the students one dish for lunch once a week. So all that was fine. And then due to wanting to earn pocket money, as I was working as a student chef, I was approached by the university to a person from the university to take up a small part-time job as a assistant chef in the catering and mobile catering company. I said yes, not realizing that there was a lot to do. It's not easy. So we went to, when I started work, I realized that the kitchen was on the 4th floor, and there was no lift. And I started off by lifting the vegetables, racks of beef, um, all the groceries, all the items, along with one assistant to the 4th floor. And it was a kitchen, a small kitchen, very compact. And we could oversee the theater. It was a theater. So people used to rehearse and practice, and we got a full view of that. But it was all in French, not in English, so I didn't understand much. But that was a good experience as an assistant chef for the catering company. It was a mobile catering company with a few few outdoor catering trips. We had a van, and we had a trailer which would carry the supplies and a generator. So all that was good. Then in London, I used to drive, so we drove up to Scotland, and in Scotland we saw the Loch Ness. We had a good time. We cooked. We did a lot of sightseeing. We did ATV riding. That's all-terrain vehicles. There are three-wheeler motorbike sort of thing which climb mountains. So I had a good time. I really had a good time. I will never say that I regret it because it was superb. And then in London, I enrolled for my master's, and that was the final year. And no, during the end of bachelor, somewhere in the end of the bachelor, I was studying for my final exam, and I was rocking on a chair. I was rocking. It was a full legs. I was rocking a chair, and the leg slipped. And the disc slipped. I flew backwards and hit the steel ledge at the base of my skull. I lost consciousness. I was taken by an ambulance to the hospital. They took an X-ray. They said there are blood clots, but it will dissolve over time. They give me some aspirins. It took some time. I was not able to walk. My I could not attend those exams, which I compensated for much later when I went to US. So that was a small incident that I had at a big price to pay at a later stage, which I will tell you later. So when I was in London, we went to America, where I learned Italian. I worked in an Italian restaurant. I was tossing pizzas, making spaghettis. We went to I was with my parents. So during the weekends, we used to go sightseeing, and then we went to Yosemite. Yosemite has trees 100, 200 years old. It's a park. And there are cabins, tents. We enjoyed ourselves. America was good. Did a lot of shopping, did a lot of sightseeing with my brother and parents and brother. It's good. We had a very close friend, Kumud and family, who too looked after us, and then returned back to finish off my master's in Europe. So the paper that I had missed in London, I did a compensation. I did a report. I did a small survey of hotels there, did a small project report, and handed it over. It was done. They gave me good marks for it, and I did excel, in fact, in all my academics. So I came down to London, and I finished off my masters. While finishing my masters, towards the end of the masters program, towards the end, that was during the summer of the year 1991, my brother got married. So I came to India for the wedding. And that point of time, I was very thrilled to join the Oberois. And so I saw the Oberois, I contacted them, and I attended an interview. And they found me good. I wanted to be in the marketing department, but that was not possible. So they said, we will see. And then I came back to India. Within no time, I was absorbed by a restaurant called the Pink Panther as a restaurant manager. I did that until the Oberoi came through and the interviews came through, and I passed all the interviews. And I entered as a night lobby manager, which is the GM in the night. So it was nice, Switzerland manager lobby. It was really good. It was a good experience to learn how night shifts operate at a very high level, at a senior level. And but before that, somewhere during the time when I was working in the restaurant, um, I started to lose my. I had some blood clots in the site. Uh, I could not. I thought it was cataracts. I told dad, and he took me to doctor, who never said anything. Ramnair Rao just said that there are spots, and he gave me steroids. And that was the beginning of another phase altogether, which I wish to, in fact, it's a lot. It's eye problems and arthritis and eye problems and meningitis. So I'll do a little today, and the next in the next session. So when we went to the doctor, he never told us what it was. He just said uveitis, and he gave me some tablets, and it was fine. I regained my vision. I joined the Oberois, but then it was a night shift job, and after within 6 months, I realized that I could no longer see the computers. I was finding it difficult to ride the bike, but I never took it seriously. I thought something is wrong, so maybe it could be okay with medicines. Uh, what attributed to all of this was, one is the juvenile arthritis that I had got at a very young age of 13. And what also contributed was the fall in London, where a steel ledge had hit my head, and I think the cloth started from there, if I'm not mistaken. And arthritis, juvenile arthritis, made it worse. So now I was losing vision in the left eye. The right was still okay. I could ride, but I was not able to perform well. So within 6 months, I put my papers down. I said, listen, on health grounds, and they had no choice because I couldn't function. So we have to stop here and take in questions. I'll take in questions, and then we will cover a lot in the next session, if that is okay with all of you. Unless you want more, then I can continue. That's not an issue. In fact, I can continue further if you want me to. But that's the health is a chapter on its own. So I would like to cover it next time. Any Ashi? Ashi?
Yeah, so thanks, Dr. Thanks, Dr. Azim. We have a few questions. The participants would like to know, how do we overcome, the topic of today is like overcoming hurdles. So they say that sometimes, you feel stuck, or you feel that your motivation or your energy levels are low, which prevent you from achieving what you can achieve, or trying to overcome the
Correct.
hurdle. So, like, it's a state of mind, or it's a feeling inside that something has to be done, like you procrastinate, and you put it off till tomorrow, day after, the next month, and it never gets in the end it never gets being done.
Your
So
voice is
what can you
cracking.
advise?
Your voice was cracking, Ashi. But from what I could get, and is my voice okay? Are you able to hear me?
Hear you well.
Yeah. So I lost a bit here and there, but I got the gist of the question. And overcoming hurdles. And see, there comes a time when you get stuck. True, everyone gets stuck, and we feel that beyond this point there is nothing I can do because we feel lost. But remember that we should always focus on the end result. What is it you want to achieve? Number one. Number two, if this is just if you retrace the steps to the beginning and then note down all the steps to the end, you will find out in where you are stuck. Getting stuck is not bad. It is good. It's good to get stuck because you find out what you are made up of. You find out how strong you are. You come to know your level of perseverance. And believe me, if you focus on the end result, you will come through. If you backtrack and write down all your steps, you know where you start, and you overcome that vertical obstacle. It's just an obstacle race. You can overcome it using your own resources and maybe a little help from the outside. Try to look at it from both angles, from yourself, how you see things, and from the outside. Because when you see things from the outside, things look different. It need not be so damaging. It need not be so difficult. It may not be so demotivating. On the contrary, taken as a challenge, you have to be self-motivated. And if you have an ideal, someone who you can really look up to, and he has gone through, then yes, it will help you to overcome that particular situation. But nothing is impossible, believe me. It's all possible. It's just a matter of how well you take it in a stride. Ashi? Is that okay? Did that answer your question? Ashi? Oh, hello? Joshua?
Ashi is muted.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Did you hear me? No. Shrak?
Yes. You're loud and
Did you
clear.
hear? Yeah. So it's okay, Josh. It came back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So did you hear everything?
Yes,
Yeah. Did that answer the question?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I have another question. I'm sorry, my audio just went off.
Yeah.
It's how to handle a never-ending nagging problem or person.
How to? This is very interesting. How to end a never-ending? How to handle a never-ending problem? Is that right? Can you repeat the question? It's nice. It's how to end and how to handle.
How to handle a never-ending nagging problem or person.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There are people. There are people that are very difficult, and it is within us to accept the person. Acceptance is first and foremost. Every person has pluses and minuses, and a nagging can be taken in a very different way too. It can be taken very friendly. You need not take everything very seriously said. You have to learn how to accept people, because not everyone is going to be easy in life. And when you learn to accept their negatives and learn to acknowledge their positives, then handling it becomes very easy. It's acceptance, all based on acceptance. And you will become good friends with them too. So yeah.
I
Dr.
think
Ashish?
like by a person, a nagging person is someone like a boss who does not understand your problems, with whom you don't have a same wavelength.
Yeah,
That itself becomes a hurdle because every day you have to deal with the same people
right,
in workplace for years together. So I think
right.
that question is
And
how to handle that person as a hurdle.
how, yeah, yeah. First accept him. Do you know that, see, he will have a particular way of uh, understanding. You have to be able to ward off the negative comments. You have to be able to let's say armor yourself against the negative comment. Now that is an exercise I do, which can help you to become immune to criticisms. And that can also help in NLP. There is an exercise where you really don't, it doesn't affect you, because you have to be emotionally strong, Sir Matt. You have to be very emotionally strong, because these comments can put you down. So please don't take these comments into heart. In fact, just push it off and move ahead, do your work. There are times when this person can be overpowering. Those are the times when you have to give it back very sweetly, say that it shall be done. So what happens is you have to buy time. You have to make sure that you get your space too. But yeah, contact me if you want an exercise. I will help you to ward off these negative comments. It's very easy. It's a matter of just putting up a screen on yourself, and you'll ward it off. Yeah,
And
Ashish?
what if it is a nagging problem that
Yeah. Yeah. No,
which
you see,
keeps
a
coming?
nagging, yeah, which keeps coming. You have to be able to be immune to it. You see, it's just sometimes it's the appearance of the person that contributes to the problem. Sometimes it's the tonality of the person that contributes to the problem. So identify first, what is it? Is it the looks? Because sometimes just the looks can irritate you. Sometimes the voice, the tonality can irritate you. Sometimes the body odor can irritate you. And you think it's a big thing. No, it's not. Everything has a solution. Identify what is nagging you. Once you identify it, then we can find out ways of attending to it. But right now, there is no generalized way of attending to it unless you identify what is it in the nagging that is really irritating you. Yeah.
Right.
Ashish? Was that okay?
Yeah, that was
That are
fine.
not okay.
Do you suggest writing down the plan in writing and then going to it step by step?
No, because a nagging person will not find you will. He does not want to be proven wrong. He or she does not want to be proven wrong. So she could just not accept it. It's very difficult to convince a nagging person that this is right. So you have to accept the person and do what you have to do to achieve what you want to achieve. The person will always back in, like they will never change. So you have to find other ways of going through, right? Writing will not help. I don't think so, because the person will not want to feel not want to feel cornered, right? And so, but you can try. No harm in trying. Try it out. Write it out. and say this is it and this is what I want to go through, and the person obviously will have to accept it, which nagging people don't like to accept. But try your luck on that one. Yeah, I would say accept the person as it is, and you know that the person's going to nag no matter what, no matter how good you are. So have faith in yourself and go ahead. That's important. Ashish?
Okay, the response to your answer for the previous question was fantastic. That's what is written in the chat box. So thanks for that. The next question is: Do you think it's important, or is it of any relevance of people falling onto bad habits like alcohol, drugs, or smoking? In their pursuit of handling these kind of hurdles in life. I mean, they tend to go into all of that. They say that it helps relieve them stress. We touched this upon in the previous thing as well, but it's come up again as a question that do you think falling back on these other bad habits would help in the long run, or it's something that should be avoided?
No, it should be avoided. The reason what happens is alcohol, tobacco, even drugs to a very large extent only numb you for the moment. They do not solve the problem. So you can drink and you can forget the problem. You can smoke and you can find relief, but it is only temporary. You can take drugs, you can do anything and any bad substance of abuse and feel very good about it. And you feel that yes, it's okay now. But that is your feeling. It is not true. Instead of succumbing to all these substances of use, try to actually find a solution to the problem. And remember, it's not a problem, it's an issue that needs overcoming. It just has to be addressed in a different way. The perception is different. Succumbing to bad abuse, succumbing to substances of abuse is not going to solve the problem at all. It's going to only make it difficult for you in the long run, because the intake will increase. You will not find a solution. You will not find how to overcome it. And at the end, you may lose your job. And you will lose your health, because these substances do have an effect on health too. So don't do it. On the contrary, talk to someone how to handle the situation, go through it, because it's just a hurdle, an obstacle. You can overcome it. You have it in you. Have faith in yourself. Don't succumb to all these things, please. Yeah.
Uh, there's a participant who wants to know whether there is any exercise or any way in which you can visualize the goal for motivation.
There is an exercise. There is a way you can visualize.
Whenever you're discouraged or feel that you cannot visualize your goal, is there any way that you can focus on the goal and come back to?
Yeah. If you can't visualize the goal, write it down in a box. Read every day. You keep the paper and read it every day. It will help you. It will help you to identify the goal. It will help you to go towards the goal. It will motivate you to think of the goal, because when you write a goal, you know what you're going to achieve after achieving a goal, because goal is something that which is very, very important to you. Also, which shows that you've achieved something, and it has a lot of advantages added to it. So write it down if you can't visualize it. And every day in the morning, first thing in the morning, read it. Believe me, you will start getting motivated. Yeah.
The last question that I have for now is what is wrong and what is right in life? Something
That is not
something that you
something.
right may be perceived wrong by others. How to handle it?
Uh, to the person who asks this question, there is nothing wrong, there is nothing right in life. Wrongs and rights are created by society. If you have to, if your morals are correct, if your values are correct, that is right. If you are harming your body, harming society, and if you are doing something that has a negative impact, that is wrong. Please don't think that this is right or that is wrong. I should not. Look at your morals, look at your value systems. Look at society. Are you creating harm? No. Then it's not wrong. Are you hurting yourself? If that's wrong, don't do it. Are you harming yourself or others? Don't do it. Are you progressing? Do it. Are you achieving targets? Are you achieving goals? Do it. So really, and so that's it. There's nothing right and wrong. It's a matter of perception. So look at it in the right perception. Look at it in the right way. And the right way is your value systems. Do not be overtaken by substances, by people gossiping, by people telling you what to do, because you should know what you want in life. You should know how good things are, how good bad things are, by researching it. Don't take suggestions just like that blindly and do it, because you should know what you want to do. Research it, read it up, find out the steps to achieve it, look at the advantages and disadvantages. Basically, set no goal setting exercise. Identify the goal, create sub goals, achieve each sub goal with a number of steps. When you achieve a sub goal, couple of sub goals make a goal. Look at it that way, a very practical way. How does that sound?
Yeah, I would like to also, I mean, whatever you said, just to emphasize the fact that when you're faced with a situation where you think something may be right or wrong, I think there will be an inner conscious or an inner voice which will speak out to you at that time, and you just need to listen to it, and then you will know whether what the track that you've chosen for yourself is right or wrong. As you said, it's a very subjective thing. For one person, what is right, the other may be wrong. But overall, it's that inner voice or that inner conscious which will tell you whether what you're doing is right or wrong. And what you said was very right, that if you if that ends up hurting you or hurting someone else in the process, it is something that should not be done, because you should do no harm no matter what. So if your step is doing something which is going to be detrimental to someone's well-being, then that should be completely avoided. So that I hope that answers the question of the participant. The reply is fantastic. Thanks, Dr. Azim. Ishraq, any question that you are in?
Nothing at my end.
Right. So, Dr. Azim, would you like to continue with your experiences till we have some more questions which come in, or is there anything that you have
Uh,
more?
Experiences. Now I will be venturing until questions come in. I'll be venturing into disabilities and how I overcame them. I will start off a little with other disabilities until a question comes in. Oh, is that okay, Ashi?
Uh,
Is
there's
that
a there's a request for can we have an exercise?
Oh, can we have an? Okay. Now there are two choices. I would what I thought was, since we are always talking about relaxation, and let's try something else. Would you like a tour through the jungle? How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm sure our
I don't know.
participants.
Let's see how the participants feel. A trip to the jungle.
Yeah, the reply is yes, please.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. So, as usual, be seated on the chair, single chair, um, legs uncrossed, palms uncrossed. If you're using headphones, then unplug the left ear, keep the right ear plugged. If you're not using headphones, then put the cell phone on your right hand side. Okay. So these are standard rules with working with this team. Now, so here we go, and I will count from 10 to 1, so you relax further, and then we go to the jungles of Africa. I will start counting down. 10, 9, 8, 7. Concentrate on your breathing. And undo yourself. Relax. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're in Bombay. Imagine you're in Bombay with friends in a flat. Maybe 4 people around with 3 others. And you have 2 months free, maybe a month free. Yeah, we have a month vacation. And you all decide to take a trip to Africa. When you look into the books and travel agents, everyone says Kenya. Kenya has a lot of wildlife, game parks, jungles, beautiful sights. Here we go. We book our tickets. You book all the tickets and start do your shopping. Buy some safari clothes, sneakers. Maybe someone comes up with the idea of having a little a knife so that he can protect himself. Well, it's okay. You're not going to use it, but no harm, no harm. Like a sort of, it makes him feel good. Including yourself, and you take Kenya Airways to Nairobi. Off to the, you're one among the tourists. The plane is filled with tourists. Everyone has a story of their own. Everyone has imaginations, has what they want to gain out of the trip. They're all excited. And as the plane lands in Nairobi and you disembark, you find it's a very cool place. The climate is very cold. And you see everyone is black around, dark skinned. You're feeling to feel the odd one out because everyone is different. You get into the bus that takes you to the hotel. The hotel is called 680. And as you check in, and you have taken a package tour. So as you check in, the reception tells you that the wake-up call will be at 5 o'clock. You will meet for breakfast at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, be ready 9 o'clock, departure to the game parks. Wow, good. All set, lovely hotel, good rooms. You sleep a little, you're awake a little, all excited. What will it be like? Camera ready. And nowadays, since it's these times, don't even need to take a camera along. Your mobile phone is enough, right? So your cell is ready. You bought a new mobile phone with higher pixels. So you can take beautiful images. It's got 3 cameras, so you can take wonderful images. And you can take even a movie, because these cameras have got movie cameras to video cameras. So you're all equipped. You have your sweaters, your jackets, you have your boots, and all set. You have a large belt with money. You're ready in case of emergency. You have your medical kit with Panadols, painkillers, a little in case you get scratched, little Dettol. And for your first aid kit packed into your rucksack. You go down for breakfast. Breakfast is at 7, you come up, 8 o'clock, get ready. At 9 o'clock, everyone assembles. The 4 of you all, among other tourists, assemble at hotel lobby. And then it's a 11-seater Kumbi, Colt Lancer, painted green and army colors, jungle colors, dark brown and dark green in patches. And it takes you. As you leave the city, you have a tour guide along with you. And he says, now we are about to enter the Tsavo Cave. Tsavo is Tsavo Cave Reserve. There's Tsavo East and Tsavo West. There are some wild animals on the east, there are some on the west. And they both have water holes, bundles of salt. So as they are the van, it's called a Kumbi. As the Kumbi enters the forest, you can feel the silence of the forest. It's lush green, and yet it's very dark inside. It's very dense. There are patches where the light is filtering through. And suddenly the car stops, the van stops, the Kumbi stops. Lay ahead, it's a huge buffalo, just lying in the middle of the road. The tour guide puts his fingers on the lips and signals to everybody to keep quiet. Not far away, you can hear the roar of the lion. You don't know what to expect. You hear the monkeys chirping. The driver is very quiet. All the windows are shut. They should not give the smell of men, of women, of human beings. The buffalo gets up. And as the buffalo moves away, you see a pack of lions progressing. It is a pack of lions, a herd of lions, are progressing. The leader is the male lion, and the lioness is behind. The windows are closed. Your video camera is exposed. It's catching everything. It's capturing everything. Everyone is looking in different directions. And then the reason why the lions were there comes to, there is a, not far away, there are deers grazing. And the lions spot the deers. The ears pop up. They can hear the lions. They can smell the lions. And they run. The lions and the lioness run behind them. You can see it's amazing chase. The video is capturing everything. It's amazing chase, how light the videos are, how light and feather-like they are sprinting, but the lions are much faster. The lionesses do the kill. They run behind the deer, and you won't believe it's not one lion in one lioness in one direction. It is 3 or 4 lionesses in different directions. And the deers, 4 deers are cornered. They don't know where to run. The lionesses are there. They are in the center, 4 in the other end. The lion lay waiting for the lioness to make the kill and bring the meat to him. He will not hunt. He's too majestic to hunt. And as the deer leaps out of the circle, you find the lioness just pounce on him and tearing the throat apart. And then the other deers just sprint off because all the lionesses now attack. They do not eat, mind you, they do not eat. They kill the deer and they drag it to the lion. It is the lion who first takes his fill. He eats gloriously, majestically. The lion is watching eat. When he has had his full, he walks away, leaving the rest of the carcass to the lionesses. And that they then chew the deer, tear it apart, and have their fill. When they had their fill, there is some meat left, and they have left it. But nothing eats the meat until the lionesses depart. Then the lionesses are far away, the hyenas and the jackals come, and they have their fill. When the hyenas and jackals have finished eating and chewing the carcass and the bones and everything, there's a little left. And when the little is left, it is for some of the crows and birds to peck and finish it off. That you've seen a kill, and now you proceed further. A beautiful day. Managed to see a kill of a lion, how they hunt. True, the way they hunt is amazing. as after Kumbi moves further, you come towards your destination, which is a hotel where you check in. The buffet is set. Everyone is still in a trance. It's of the kill. Everyone discussing how the lion just lay waiting for the lioness just to be killed. But the lion is so strong that with one swipe of its paw, it could tear the deer's throat apart. But he did not do that. The lioness was killed. And as you rest now in the lodge and make your way back to the hotel, it's amazing how the first day went out of the 7 days. You rest in the night, wondering what will come the next day. Next day is a trip to the famous Ark. The famous Ark is a hotel built in the shape of Noah's Ark. And so you go to the Ark as the van comes to the Ark, and you check into the hotel, the reception. It's in a ship's shape, where Noah had built his ark to save all the animals. So the Kumbi is parked inside. You climb up to the reception, and as you check in into the hotel's the reception area, you are told that the feeding you have an early dinner because you have to watch the feeding. And as you have your dinner, which is a beautiful buffet, you still are waiting anxiously to see what you mean by feeding. And then you walk down. Down is in the basement of the ark, where the base of the ark. It's concrete, it's cemented. Holes, it's a room with holes where you can see through. And you can see lions, wildebeests, you can see different things. And you can see snakes too. Also, and there is a little a pond, a water hole, where the animals come in order. They drink, they fill, and they go. The lions come, they drink, they go. The elephants come, they drink, they go. The wildebeests sheepishly come, drink, and go away. They will not go at the same time as the lions, so they will be attacked. You all have an order in the jungle. That is supremacy, and there is a different way of looking at things. Lion is indeed the king of the jungle. So this is the second day. The third day, as Kumbi travels to the treetops. This is a hotel built on the tops of the trees. It is a place where Queen Elizabeth went up as a princess and was given the news of the death of the Queen and came down as Queen Elizabeth. Very famous. And when you are up, it's all log cabins built on tops of trees. Where you can see the entire game reserve from the treetops. It's a beautiful thing. You watch the trees, you're well safe. Very well safe, very well secure. And that's the third day. The fourth day is within the city, coming closer to the city. We're watching how animals migrate. The wildebeest are migrating. You see elephants. You see a whole herd of elephants. And amazing. In real life, they look huge. They look huge with their big ears. In movies, they look small, but in real life, oh God, they are so terrifying. And then you get to see a mammoth. A mammoth is a very old, wild elephant, very old and very wild, and it will kill. It will just attack. You're seeing it from a distance. The driver can't go closer. And then one day for shopping within the city of Nairobi. All said and done, your camera is loaded with pictures. You have movies of the kill, a lot of pictures. You have monkeys, you have a short picture of orangutans, jumping trees. Oh, a lot of things have happened. Too much for us to see, and to relive. We can come back to Kenya once again. As the last day, we board the flight with a 5-hour dinner in Nairobi 680 Hotel. The flight comes back from Kenya. We land back in Bombay. Thoroughly tired, exhausted, and yet very thrilled at the experience. It's something that maybe we will come back again sometime. For now, let us enjoy the pleasure we had of being to the jungles of Africa, seeing the animals, seeing the monkeys, seeing the hyenas and the warthogs, seeing the herd of elephants and the kill of the lions or the antelope. What a sight! Lovely. It is very, very nice to be safe and secure in Bombay now. I want you all to now let go of Africa. You are in India. You're back in your room. Your breathing is calm. I will count from 1 to 10. Open your eyes after the count of 10. Gently open your eyes after the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a 10. And when you are ready and you're awake, please type in awake in the chat box. Thank you.
Right, everyone's typing in awake. Thanks, Dr. Azim. We don't have any more questions from the participants. So if
Okay.
you I'd like to summarize whatever you said today. And
Okay.
we started with that how to overcome our obstacles. The first thing would be to to analyze what our obstacles are, try to figure out what's holding us back, sit down and work out exactly what stands in the way of our goals. Then think about what is our history with this obstacle, how long has this been with us, what are the behaviors or negative thoughts that are preventing us from working on to it. Then find similarities to previous obstacles and take a minute to think about the other obstacles that you've encountered in your life and whether this approach worked when with this then or not. And then determine what you control. Some things are within your hands, but some things are not in your hands. Some people are manageable, some are not manageable. But then you'll have to use your experience and your emotional reactions to these kind of situations and then you guide across. You'll also have to analyze interpersonal issues involving people and try and figure out how to deal with a tough colleague or a tough family member. So they can be obstacles in their own way. And then you can overcome the obstacles by breaking them into smaller chunks and then work through each one at a time, or probably consider creative solutions like talking it out or discussing it with someone who's knowledgeable or has more experience than you in searching, or approaching a counselor such as you, and to keep an active plan as to how you plan to achieve those goals. And then over a period of time, you need to track and analyze your progress as to how well you have been achieving those goals. And at the end, it's always seeking advice and support and taking help from friends and family as and when you need any advice. And then obviously you need to break your bad habits. We don't advise you to fall back onto alcohol or cigarettes or drugs for that matter. And then you need to visualize your goal for motivation. Whenever you feel discouraged, close your eyes and picture yourself that you've overcome the obstacle, like the experience that you just shared with us. It totally took us to a different land, even though we were in the comfort of our own home. And then we also need to help to develop our problem solving skills, so that because each and every one of us will be faced with a lot of problems in life, but then we all should know how to tackle them at an individual level first, and then over a period of time develop how to solve them as and when these problems come to us. So thank you everyone for your participation. I'd like to thank Dr. Basavraj, who's also joined in from Bellary, and a few other people who also joined in but have left probably now. So thank you very much for your participation. And Dr. Azim, any more comments on your end?
No, I don't have any comments. I have nothing to say. I just hope that everyone enjoyed the exercise. They liked it. It was a very different thing, but once in a while we need to also see the different side of life, right?
Right. So
So what we're going to do is, this thing is going to be posted on YouTube, and what we're going to do is we'll break down the exercise as a separate video. So if you want to revisit it at any time, you can just go click that link and go through the whole exercise.
Thank you.
Right. So thank you everyone for participating. Thanks for your warm participation, and thanks Dr. Azim for your time. Thanks Ashok for hosting this with us, and thank you very much. Mansi says, love the jungle excursion. Thanks so much. Kamlesh Ahmed says, thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Azim. It was a nice session.
Thank you, Dr. Ashi and Ishaq.
If with your permission, we can all sign out.